Howdy, everybody. Hello, Casp. Hello, Yogurt. Welcome. Welcome. So, I don't know what I'm going to be doing for a stream today, aside from using the 10 free fuel that Silverwolf gave us. Because I also have, like, a little bit of a time limit. So it's weird. So I have, I made the single most impulsive concert decision ever. I made the single most impulsive concert decision, so me and my brother are going to a concert tonight. Yeah. And that starts at 5:30 and it's noon, so yeah. Hello AJ, hello Magikarp, hello, yep. Casp again. Hello Raya, welcome. Salutations. So yeah, I have no idea how this is gonna, how short this is gonna be, because we need to make it to Mile High. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. What concert? Illenium. Illenium's playing at Mile High Stadium tonight. I don't play Star Rail because the combat doesn't vibe with me. Is it good? I think it's very good. I think it's a very good game. And like, give it a chance. If you haven't already, I would say at least give it a chance, because it's actually quite fun. I thought a very large majority of people are like, I don't like turn-based, tried it and didn't. Or like tried it and then they really fell in love with the turn-based. So yeah. I would say give it a chance if you haven't. The story is also very, very good. Like, it's way better of a hook than this. Because we downsized Pokemon. Well, okay, here's the thing. I was in the crowd of I don't like turn-based. I was in the crowd of I don't like turn-based before I started playing the game, and then I kind of fell in love with it, so I don't know. The only turn-based I actually played and enjoyed was Final Fantasy X. Because it's Final Fantasy X. I was never a big Pokemon guy. I played Diamond. That was it. But okay, here's the thing. 9, 10, 11, and 12 were all fantastic, and then 13 happened and then ruined that shit. Wait, 13 was the one with lightning, right? That was 13. 13 and 13-2 were the really shitty ones. 13 was okay. I always hear, yeah, I always hear that 13 was shit. Like, I played the beginning of 13. I had 13 on 360. I played like 2 seconds of it and I got bored. Because again, I'm not a big fan of turn-based. Hot Take 7 is super overrated. I've heard that from a lot of people, actually. It's really interesting how much, because like, I know 7 is a good game, and it was very revolutionary. That was the big thing, that's the reason why it was so big, is because it was so revolutionary in JRPGs. But whether it's aged well is a different story. It's like my opinion with Half-Life 1, Half-Life Original is not a good game. It was just incredibly revolutionary. That's it. Like, it's a similar vibe from that, I think. You think about Overwatch canceling PvE? That's I don't play. Well, considering Blizzard is an awful fucking company, fuck Blizzard. That just kind of went to show, yeah, they don't care. They don't give a shit. And it just, like, canceling PvE is like, I just found it to kind of prove my point that Overwatch 2 has no reason to exist. That's it. Overwatch 2 has literally zero reason to exist. Okay, so before we get into the game, as you guys might know, I have the visual art like this, like, I'm not good at visual art. I suck at it. So I've been playing around with trying to get an okay thumbnail, or at least like start drafting a thumbnail for the HI3 project that I'm going to be working on. Graphic cinematics and the way they told the story. Exactly, but like when it comes to the game, Okay, yeah. So I'm hoping I have at least one person that knows what they're doing with visuals to like give me input on this. So I'm gonna, when I switch over, it'll be up close, but I'll zoom out. Give me a second, we're good. You know, I have the graphic design skills of a muskrat, so I have, yeah, okay, so switching over now. Okay, this is a very rough draft. Give it a second. But yeah, that's like, this is for just the first part. I'm gonna keep the thumbnail extremely standardized like this, except I'm changing this text down here. That's it. That's it. Olive Green ain't doing it. I should change that around. It works for subtitles. It works for subtitles, but driving only 2 rows of text. Okay, so like 1, 2, and then have this down here. 2 rows of text unless they're different size of fonts. Okay. 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 Size of chapter 6. You just do a quick whoop. Have it chilling down here. Make it red or something. Okay. Okay. Because the one thing that the fix that I'm proud of is Kiana's because like the picture of Kiana, it's actually like that, and so she's like kind of centered on it, so I just kind of took a slice of the background, moved it over just to kind of off-center her, because that makes a whole lot of sense. And then yeah, it's just everything else. Okay, I'll send it to one of my friends, see if I can get a, yeah, I use the thirds. Oh, okay, well, that's because I have a background in photography. That's the only reason why I understand how thirds work. That's it. That's the only like background in visual art that I have is photography. So I can do thirds. That's it. Yeah. So. Okay. I will take that. I will take that feedback and use it. Why is, what the fuck? Hello? Why are you squished? You're not supposed to be like that. What? Hold on. I have absolutely no idea why it was like that. What the fuck? Honkai Impact be or Honkai Star Rail just being like that for some reason. I don't know. What's in the background? Boop. It's Void. It's Lumine being Lumine. It's my favorite artist on Twitter. They make some beautiful shit. So, yeah, that's what that is. Also for YouTube thumbnails, the thumbnail has to complete the title. I've seen that. I don't. I've always struggled with figuring out how to do that. Because like when I name titles, a big problem I have is I like to name things like they're books and not, or like guides, not videos. I've never been good at naming videos. So naming videos that are also conducive to being completed by the thumbnail has always been something I've sucked at. But so I don't know. I'll take a bit. I only have like the script half written for the first episode. I'm like I just finished covering chapter 1. I just finished summarizing chapter 1, so like I have a bit. Also, the background is kind of non-existent. Yeah, I've been playing around with a bunch of stuff. I've been playing around with thumbnails. I don't know. I'm trying a whole bunch of stuff, because that's one thing I kind of, when I did my beginner's guide video, I kind of figured out like the things that I needed to do to make my videos at least somewhat smoother in presentation and like have like transitions, and like I kind of streamlined my style in that video. That was a big thing that I did. Kind of identified what I wanted to do with like my visuals in the video and how I was going to streamline that. And now I'm kind of like tackling, I should probably figure out what the fuck I'm doing for thumbnails. Because I have always just kind of thrown shit together and hoped it worked. But now that I actually like, you know, I'm attempting to actually make coherent fucking things. What am I doing? I need to actually like go you. Now that I actually want to like make coherent thumbnails and like video presentation, yeah, it's crazy. And my graphic design knowledge was from a summer college course I took back when I was... Yeah, I have nothing. No, I have jack shit. I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. I have zero background in video editing. Everything that I've done has just been of the past like 3 years of me figuring out how to edit. That's literally it. And it's a little bit further. Because I had a little bit of a jump start because I had experience editing gameplay videos, but like that's it. What do I want to actually do? Okay, so I started building Dan Heng just to kind of have him around. Also, since I got his E6, I've decided, hey, why not do that? So that's, he's not great right now, so I might start doing wind relics, because I also can use any ice relics I have on Pella, because Pella's relics are not good. Using thirds is a massive step already, though. Yeah, that was... I will say I can do composition. Like, I can do composition because that's what composition and colors kind of. Not really colors. Composition helps a lot with me. That's pretty much what I rely on. When it comes to anything else, I'm lost, bro. I'm fucking lost. Yeah, so I started building Dan Heng. He's all right. Not, I would prefer a much higher attack, but I really don't have a whole lot going on him. Like these are crazy artifacts. I just don't. It's this and this. Actually, it's just the body armor that I want. That's better. Cause like Zila's. What is Zila running? Oh yeah, Zila's also is still on mostly 4 stars. I keep forgetting about that. I should probably fix that. Yeah, let's focus on I don't know. I want to focus on. I have no fucking clue. I would also like it if I had a better one of these. If I had a better link rope for Dan Heng. Cause like Zila is running like is just running a 4-star link. I could steal the rope that Stella is using. Zila is the worst for trying to get armor and shoes. Yeah, I've been having the same problem. I got lucky with her shoes. I got very lucky with her shoes, and her armor is also just... But I've been trying to farm for anything else, and it's just not happening. And I don't want this to be crit damage. I want this to be crit rate, to be completely honest, but it's whatever. I'll take it. But yeah, what if I do... Oh, I do like having break effect on the rope, though. It's annoying. I should have better damage. Because, like, this mask is nuts. This mask is fucking perfect. Like, I could not... Like, if I get fucking Himiko, this is going straight on her. Like, straight up. This is a crazy mask. Get some. But I also want to work on materials for talents, or for traces, because his traces are pretty good, except they're all being carried by his constellations. So. Yeah, well, let's go get arrows. Let's go fight the fucking dragon. I hate the dragon so much. Oh my god. I cannot tell you how awful that dragon is. Ugh, he's so annoying. You. Okay, let's go get arrows. I think. For my missions. Stagnant Shadow. I can also do Void. Synthesize consumable. Yeet. Technique 2 times. Ultimate. Yeah, I could do that. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Boom. Boom. Go. Ultimate, deal final blow, clear stagnant shadow. Bip. I just prefer crit rate over crit damage. Damage may be low, but it's more often. Exactly. And, like, I will say, Zila's... So I have E1 Zila, because I'm a fucking whale. And, like, the extra crit rate that she gets, because she gets crit rate from just being E1, because anybody that's under... I think it's, like...
Ready when you are.
I think it's anybody that's below like 80% health, you get like a crit rate boost. It's nice. I just kind of wish it was more. Let's heal you up real quick. 'cause I'm too lazy to go do that. I really tried Dan Heng, but it just doesn't work for me. I kind of want him around just in case I don't get, like in the off chance I don't get Himeko, or okay, in the pretty large, substantial chance I don't get Himeko.
This battle is unavoidable.
I do just kind of want to have him on hand.
Watch this awesome move.
You know, just to have a wind character.
Try that again.
Not Himeko. Sorry, Kafka. I don't know why I said Himeko there. I meant Kafka. In the off chance I don't get Kafka, I know I have Himeko. I hate her.
You'll pay for this.
So yeah.
Can I have fun this time? This
I think Blade is also wind. Yeah.
This is double speed.
Wait, is Kafka electric? I always no. She's.
Always a weakness.
Wait, who the fuck is wind and who's? I don't know because their color palettes be weird. For some reason, I thought Kafka was wind. Kafka is electricity. Okay. That's never mind. Blade was the wind one. Okay, yeah. That makes lots of sense.
What a headache. I'll free you from your disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Although, did you guys see Blade's Blade's voice actor announcement?
Watch this awesome move.
It's fucking Rebuild Kaoru. Like, what the fuck? It's just the craziest shit.
So you are afraid of the foot?
It's so good. Like, the funniest thing, right, is Blade's voice actor is exactly who I would expect to be Blade's voice actor. Like, that man is the most Blade voice actor I have ever seen. It is actually quite comical. It kind of makes me enjoy Blade a little bit more. Let's go do. Just to go find a quick fight so I can do the funny. Not that. 4. I need to ultimate to deal final blow. Do I have any ultimate charge? I don't. Let's go do that. Okay, she has ultimate.
A sharp scythe needs targets.
Give me enemy. I can go slap on for some fun. Hello. Kafka's electricity. I knew she was Nayelity because she's in the beginning of the game. There you are. You also build Sampo? I do have Sampo. I just don't know if I want to build him. Oh, hi, Trotter. You make things a little bit more complicated for me.
Time for a fun. You'll pay for this. Lend me your strength. So you are afraid of me.
That also makes things useful.
Time for a fun. This battle is unavoidable. Don't mess with me.
We're good.
I'll free you from your disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Afraid to get scammed? Yeah. I don't want. I feel like this is just an elaborate plot by Sampo for me to give him power so he can like rule the world or some shit. Like if I build him, he's gonna become a virus and take control of my computer. Like, Sampo's a must. Really? I guess. Yeah, so if you build Sampo and Kafka in the same team, they just fucking DOT out the wazoo. That actually sounds pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. Kafka's main, yeah, well, because she's Nihility. That's Nihility's gimmick, is DOT damage.
What a headache. What?
You took the bait. Time for a buzz.
Gotta try hard some. Watch this awesome move. There's always a
Oh,
weakness.
Kafka amplifies it. Okay. Interesting,
We've entered the
actually.
storm. To guard and defend. Crush them. Don't mess with me. There's always a weakness. Lend me your strength. Who's next?
More enemies. This is double speed.
What a headache. I'll end your misery.
Oh yeah, I do remember when I did have Serval built, like you played Nihility. Like if you get lucky with the cards that you pull in Nihility, the amount of damage you can do is fucking obscene. It is hilarious actually, how much damage you can do with DOT
Illusions of the
in
past.
Simulated Universe. I remember doing like upwards of like 60, 70,000 when I was like way early into the game when you should not be doing that much damage by just them taking their turn. It is very funny.
Try that again. Don't mess with me. I'll end your misery. What?
Can I have fun this time?
Lend me your strength. What a headache. I'll end your misery.
This combat needs a. This is double speed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So you are
Kafka
afraid
can
of
trigger
me.
DOT one more time. That is,
Try hard sometime. Watch this.
that's just funny. Like,
So you are afraid of me.
DOT builds are gonna be so just hilarious. It's just
I'll free you from your
people are not allowed to
disappear
take their
among the
turn
butterflies.
is the funniest idea. It's just the funniest concept for a turn-based game. You take your turn, you die. Fuck you.
Time for
Like,
Told you I could fight.
this battle is.
Lend me your strength. We've entered the storm. To guard and defend.
now imagine that twice hit the rice before an enemy. Yeah, exactly. That's just really funny.
I'll end your misery. Don't mess with me. Who's next? Disappear
It's your
among the
turn now.
sea of butterflies.
Bleed, and
Illusions of the
also
past.
get wind, like cuts of wind and all that shit. Like it's awful. Too bad Quantum doesn't count as DOT. It makes sense that it doesn't, to be honest. Like it does suck. That would be really funny if Entangle did count as DOT, but also
I'll end your misery.
just stacking as many
Can I have fun this
DOT buffs on enemies. Like the ones that exist, the electrocution, wind shear, and bleed is just so funny. It's good enough. Hello, Blots, welcome.
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
You took the bait.
How did that not kill? I am salty.
Lend me your strength.
Oh, and burn. I forgot about burn. Everybody forgets about
I'll
burn.
end your misery. What? So you are you're afraid of me. Who's next?
Sucks like the only good fire unit in the game, or the only 5-star fire unit
For a buzz.
is ass. Is Himiko the only 5-star fire?
Lend me your strength. What a headache.
I think she is.
Don't mess with me.
Unless I'm missing somebody.
Disappear among the
Yeah,
butterflies.
Himiko's the sucks that the only 5-star fire unit
You took the bait.
sucks. Is awful.
This combat needs up. This is double speed.
I don't know why I brought Silverwolf into this.
Bite.
Not counting Trailblazer. Okay, well.
This awesome move.
Okay, it's weird. Usually I'm not used to including MC in that 5-star discussion because
End your misery.
in this game, Trailblazer actually deserves to be called a 5-star, unlike in Genshin.
I'll end your misery.
Well, obviously they're leaks. Like I just find it hilarious how many of the future characters have already been leaked. It is just obscene how many characters have already been leaked. I haven't seen very many of them, but all I know is like a lot have been leaked. I've seen comparisons between Himiko and Hook. Yeah. Yeah. I part of me wants to build Hook, but like I have enough characters built. I don't need more characters to build. But also Hook is just really fun. Yeah, this is my Sampo. He doesn't even have a card on him. I don't want to do that. Do I get a wish out of if I incend her? No, I don't. Okay. We're gonna not touch her. What do I need for you? Wind things. Well, to be fair, erudition and destruction, different purposes, but yeah, it's still dumb. Well, because like the thing that Himiko is supposed to do is to break. Like that's her whole thing is breaking, is weakness breaking. But yeah, she's still not good. I also do have these that I want to level up. God, I keep neglecting talents in like the worst way possible. So I have been struggling. I should probably do that. How did I not have that? That's so dumb. Yeah, my talents are not good. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do next. Like, do I keep artifact farm? Do I like start farming artifacts, or do I keep? How the next MC is imaginary? I did too. I kind of like imaginary hunt would be really cool. Even though like, because we know that Yukong is imaginary, or is that leaks? I don't know. I can't keep track of what's official and what's a leak. Because it all appears on my timeline, even though I don't want it to. Even though I don't want it to, it all appears on my timeline. But yeah, Because we know Luocha is imaginary, but we haven't gotten a real DPS imaginary. I want a DPS imaginary. Okay, how are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Let's do this. Well, the pseudo DPS, but like Wilt's entire purpose is to not let people have their turn. So he does more support than anything. What team do I use for this? Asta. Asta? Pella. No.
Enemies ahead. Up for a scrap? Ah, great. I'll end your misery.
Enemy data secure. Net markers activated. Time for a good
He has some damage increase on front. Yeah, that too. He has weakness. I don't know.
Here. Commencing support.
I don't know. I want like a dedicated just DPS for imaginary. I think that would be cool.
We've entered the storm.
Just because of how weird imaginary is as an element.
Crush them.
But it also just like part of me feels like it doesn't. It's not supposed to be a DPS element. Like with how they're doing things right now, it feels like it's like designed to be a
Don't mess with me.
It feels like imaginary is designed to be a support element.
Tough luck running into me. Here. Ready for another? Enemy data secure. Net markers activated. Time for a good old counterattack.
I'll free you. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
There's always a weakness. My turn. Enemy targets detected.
Lend me your strength. Don't mess with me.
Hunt MC is most likely to be wind. That would be cool though too. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But we already have another hunt.
Combat report will be ready soon.
We already have a hunt wind. That feels redundant to me. I feel like they wouldn't do that. Because Dan Heng is already wind hunt. So like having that redundancy in the 3 characters just does not make sense. We're almost there, y'all. Woo! Do I have enough of quantum thingies? I don't, but that's fine. I probably honestly won't go equilibrium level up for a while. I'll actually like take my time on doing that one. I'm actually gonna do XP books because I do actually kind of want to have XP books just in case. Like this is a very, very just in case kind of thing. Let's go heal because dropping a strong tank for DPS is not a good idea. Yeah, I don't know, but like it also kind of depends because like I don't use Preservation MC because I have I don't have a need for her. I have March, and I just go full fucking March. I think it's really funny. But a lot of people do use
Gotta try hard sometime. Watch this awesome move.
do use her. So like just going for like giving another DPS, like single target DPS, because you know Destruction MC is already busted, or not busted, but very, very solid.
So you are afraid of me. Disappear among the
You are a
sea
whale?
of
I am. It's crazy.
illusions of the past.
Spent just a little bit too much money on this game already.
We've entered the storm.
Just a little bit too much money on this game already.
Crush them.
Elodie, welcome.
mess with me.
Welcome. Yeah, and there's also Japard, because like Japard kind of takes any use out of Preservation MC. Kind of makes her completely useless. And like part of me, so like I've gotten to this point where I have no idea who I want next,
Disappear among the
like
sea
out
of
off the
fireflies.
standard banner, because I want
Illusions of the
Japard,
past.
I want Welt, I want Clara, I want everybody. I don't know who I want, like who I want to go for next. It makes me so mad, and it makes it worse that I got an E1 Himiko. So like the only character that I did not want off of banner I got. It's so dumb.
You are afraid of me. Who's next?
Enemy data secured. Net markers activated.
Yeah, I suffer.
I'll end your misery.
I suffered because I got E1 Himiko, and so now I'm kind of sad. I'm extremely sad. Oh, I also haven't shown you guys the this game is fucking with me, right? This game is fucking with me. I got lucky with getting E1 Sela, and then it's now just like screwing with me, cause
You are afraid of me.
so I had a random pull. I decided to throw a couple of pulls into the banner, whatever. Just cause why not? Into Silverwolf's banner, and so I wish,
We have the upper hand.
and it turns gold.
There's always a weakness.
I'm like, okay, what? So the banner, or was this on? No, this was on standard. This was on standard banner. I threw some wishes into standard banner, and it turns gold.
Net markers
And I kind of hold my breath because I so badly want Welt. I think Welt is just so cool. I love him to death. He's great. So standard banner turns gold,
entered the storm.
and I like, ooh, what is it? And then I see Nihility,
I'll free you from your chains.
and I'm like, no fucking way did I just get Welt. And then his card shows up. I got Welt's fucking light cone. Not Welt's. This game is teasing me. It's fucking with me. There's no other way to explain it. I get Welt's light cone. I don't get Welt. I'm so mad.
Try that again.
And like, I'll take Japard's. I'll take Welt's light cone, right? Because I like playing Nihility. Nihility's really fun. So yeah, now I have Silverwolf. Wait, who did I put his light cone on? Nobody has his light cone right now. I forgot about that. But like, I don't. Where do I put him? Like, who do I put him on? Do I put it on Pella or do I put it on Silverwolf? Like, I don't know who should have it. Speaking of which, our first fuel today is going to be for what's his face? Nihility stuff. Do you have a lot of effect hit rate? Ooh, do I? I don't have shit on her, actually, I'm now realizing. Let's do that real quick. I have a no, I have a I have some. I'll give you that much. Well, it's light cone is good for her damage. Okay. Because I have some. Like, her effect hit rate is sitting at 48 with this. Yeah, no, so I'll keep it here. I'll give Welt to Naility. Oh yeah, I'll give Light Cone to Pella. I'll give Welt's Light Cone to Pella.
Don't mess with me.
Gotta try hard. Watch this awesome move.
Love Silverwolf. I hope we get her. I hope you get her too. She's actually really fun. Yeah, I was bang on the money when I said that the allure of Silverwolf is to make her, is to open up team comps, because that's all I've been doing with Silverwolf is playing team comps, and she'll become even more valuable in the future when we get more and more characters to do more and more fun stuff, more and more mono teams.
Who's next?
Bronya versus Cooler Bronya, yeah. I saw a tweet before going live. It was
Follow my charge.
it was like a ship dynamic like drawing of Sunshine and Protector of Sunshine. And so like in HI3 and GGZ, it's Zilla is the Sunshine, Bronya is the Protector of the Sunshine, but in this game it's switched. It's really funny. It's so adorable. I love them. I love these two so much.
Conflict is pitiless.
You'll pay for this.
Even though in this game nobody is actually really like, neither of them are really the Sunshine. It's very interesting.
Gotta try hard. Watch this
Although, okay, I will say, I started writing my recap.
always a weakness.
I started writing my recap of the HI3 story, because I finished chapter 6 like 2 days ago, and so I started writing the recap, and I cannot tell you guys how much I miss writing story recaps like that.
I'll free you from your
Oh my
chains
god, that's
to
so
secure
dumb.
among
I
the
expected
sea of
that to
butterflies.
actually, I didn't, okay.
Illusions of the past.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how much I miss writing story recaps, because it's so fun. It is so fun. It's like I have found that there's really no other like video style that allows me to slip in jokes like I do with recaps. Like, I just kind of go ham with just making fun of the game.
So you are afraid of me.
So
Who's next?
it's, yeah, I find it really funny. Chapter 6, yeah, so I've been kind of, at least for the beginning, because it left off in a really good place.
Mess with me.
Chapter 6 kind of left off in a really solid place for me to say, hey, this is where I'm going to leave it, because it's a very good cliffhanger,
Illusions of the past.
but it's also like a one arc, kind of a coherent arc, so it's like, this is going to be a very good part to stop and ask, hey, do you guys want to keep seeing this?
There's no time to lose. Conflict is pitiless.
You'll pay for this.
Because if the reaction to the video is like lukewarm after, even though I stopped at a very big cliffhanger, then yeah, probably not a great idea to keep the series going. But yeah,
A foregone conclusion.
hello, hello, Ranger.
Here.
Yes, I know that you are Ranger.
Always a weakness. This battle. My turn.
Because yeah, it's the whole we fight Fuhua,
What a headache.
or Kiana becomes cool, and then we fight Fuhua, and then she becomes detained,
Watch this awesome
and then
move.
Teresa's like, shit,
Don't mess with me. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past. Who's next?
Fuhua mother. Fuhua.
Follow my charge.
Okay.
It's pitiless.
I don't understand the Fuhua thing quite yet. Yet is the operative word.
So you are afraid of me.
Like, she's neat. I don't get it. But give me some time. We'll probably figure it out. In short order. I will probably figure out the Fuhua thing in short order. Switch. Enhance. 5. So I need 4 more. We're gonna make 2. Fuck. Okay. We're gonna be doing that for a while. I do need to make like 2 more of these. And a lot more of these. Spoilers? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's really cool because like I tried HI3 a while ago. Back when I was like okay, I'm into Genshin. I should probably try it. Played it, was not into it. But trying it again now, I am much sucked into her. I am way sucked into it now. Instead of compared to like what it was a while ago. Fuhua has a lot of it back. Well, I know that she has. I know she's like fucking sus. That's it. Is it because of Star Rail lore? No, maybe a smidge, but like really the only bit of like Star Rail lore that you can even tie to HI3 at the beginning of the game is Bronya. But even then, it's not really, because at that point, Zila is not present, dead, in heavy quotations. So, like, in like, HI3 Bronya is completely, like, incomprehensible and uncomparable to HSR Bronya. So, yeah, it's not really. It's just different. Welt hasn't appeared yet. Welt doesn't appear until much later into the game. Yeah, Zila is one with the Sea of Quanta, I think. I don't quite understand the mechanics of why she's not dead in heavy quotations. You have to, like, I know just enough that I need to pick my words very, very carefully. That's the amount of like that's the amount that I know, is that I need to be very careful with how I pick my words. I'm gonna do who is offering support? Vanity has a Tingyun. Okay. Fuck. I'll run this team. We'll see what happens. I hope it's a lot of effort into lore. It is absolutely crazy, yeah. How much stuff they put into the lore is absolutely crazy. And that's kind of why I think, okay, maybe the reason I am enjoying HSR more is because I have a better understanding and appreciation for the multiverse side of Hoya's lore. Because when I first played the game,
Guard and defend.
when I only played Honkai, I did not understand how anything worked.
So you
Like I
are
had
afraid of
zero appreciation for how much effort went into building their lore. Because all I knew is Genshin lore, that was it. But now that like HSR has kind of forced me to at least somewhat understand the imaginary tree and Sea of Quanta and all that rigmarole,
So you are afraid of me.
I definitely feel like I have that's allowing me to enjoy things a little bit more.
Lend me your strength. What a headache. Who's next? I'll end your misery. Don't mess with me. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past. Rules are made to be broken.
I'm finishing the Shenzhou Luofu quest and I'm starting my doc file. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll end your misery.
Although I tweeted this earlier. I absolutely adore how the museum management event heavily implies that the Seated Divine Foresight has just been doing nothing for upwards of 2 months. Like, it is kind of hilarious how little it implies how little they've actually done.
Lend me your strength.
Tough luck running into
They said, yeah, we're gonna investigate. That was a mistake, actually.
Let's make it quick.
Yeah, we'll investigate this, and then they just straight up do nothing for like
Try that again.
way too long. They straight up don't do anything for 2 months.
You can't run. Try that again. We've entered the storm. To guard and defend.
Crush them. Let's go.
You'll pay for that. My turn.
We'll just farm shit. Ow.
You can't run.
Let's make it quick. Don't mess with me.
Okay, we're gonna do this.
Watch this awesome move.
What does that do? Does that freeze? It does not freeze. Okay. I'm gonna do this.
Next. Rules are made to be broken.
I'm gonna do that.
There's always a weakness.
Do
Lend me
you?
your strength.
Yeet.
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
I wonder because of the complexity of the lore, will it crash and burn, or will they? We'll see. Like, okay, so if you play HI3, like something that I understand about HI3, and I will probably figure this out the further into the lore I get. But from what I've heard, like the middle of the game, the middle of HI3 feels like they were switching writers midway through. And like multiple writers have touched HI3 and have changed what they want the universe to be like. If they could survive that, I feel like they can survive whatever the fuck else comes their way. So, yeah.
Battle is unavoidable.
Do you understand the dreams thing, K24? Yes, somewhat. There are still some questions, but that's kind of by design.
What a headache.
There is an amount you are not supposed to understand.
Disappear
But
among
from
the
what
sea of
I do
butterflies.
understand,
Illusions of the past.
the Herrscher of the Void is like trying its absolute best, or is like it's destined for Kiana to embrace the Herrscher of the Void. To some extent, yeah. Yes, kind of. That is awful. Holy shit. But K243 implies that she was one of the, or at least like from my thinking right now, K243 implies that she was one of the experiments in Babylon. I have noticed though that her birthday is all over the fucking place. Her birthday is fucking all over the place because, like, it implies that, what was it? I'm flipping through my notes. May says that she was born in, like, her birthday is December 7th. And we know that her birth year, at the very least, is 99. But that doesn't work, since when the second impact, when the second eruption happens, the whole thing is she just turned 1, and Cecilia is still recovering, which that doesn't work. And it happened in the second eruption happened on February 7th, or she was born early December, and the second impact, or the second eruption, happens on February 7th. And so that, like, it just doesn't make sense to say she just turned 1 when she turned 1 2 months ago. Like, that that's one thing I've noticed, that her birthday is all over the place. Do you have a favorite theory? Any Hoyo game? Do I have a favorite theory? I'll have to think about that. Let's actually take a quick break. I have been drinking an obscene amount of tea, so take a quick break. I will be right back. I might have an answer for you on that question. Give me a quick second. Wrong one. You know what? I cannot think of a favorite theory. I don't know. There's a lot. There is a lot. Because also my brain cycles through theories constantly. Like, I have to pay attention to a bunch of different stuff all at the same time. So I honestly have no clue. Like, I enjoy the idea that Sarita is actually the good guy. in Genshin. My personal favorite is that Teyvat is just a copy of the imaginary tree. Yeah. I do, okay. Okay, well, my favorite theory is chest theory with Genshin. I made the whole video on it. I just think that's cool. But also another field of theories that I really like is the where the fuck is Teyvat on the imaginary tree question. Because I just find it so funny and so fascinating that, like, Teyvat just kind of fundamentally breaks our understanding of the Hoyoverse
You are afraid of me. Who's next?
in just the weirdest ways possible.
Told you I could fight. You can't run.
Let's make it quick.
Because, like, there was,
Illusions of the past.
okay, hold on. Let me find the article, actually. The Hoyo Stands made an awesome article,
What I might do.
outlining everything that they could find regarding how, the Hoyoverse works.
Try that again.
And
Gotta try hard.
one of the most interesting things I learned in that article was that Genshin was supposed to be a Honkai game. In development, it was Honkai 4. But they named it to Genshin Impact so they could claim that they had a new IP. That was the entire reason Genshin is called Genshin, why it has a different name now.
Rules.
Is so Hoyo could claim that they had another IP so they could get on the stock market, which they eventually abandoned that idea anyways. They abandoned the whole stock market going public thing. But in their application, their original application was denied because they only had the Honkai IP.
Let's make it quick.
You'll pay for this.
So that's why that works.
What a headache. Let's go.
Tough luck running into me. Here.
I'll end your misery. I'll free you from disappear among the sea of butterflies.
You know, all universes are in the imaginary tree, but the ones that aren't need an anchor, or they'll just disintegrate into the sea of quantum. Yeah, exactly. And that's like,
You are afraid
that's
of
the
me.
concept behind a bubble universe, right? Is that there are universes that can exist as bubbles on the Sea of Quanta, but aren't disintegrated by it? Or am I getting that wrong? Because I know there's a difference between just being on the imaginary tree and being a bubble universe.
What's wrong? Afraid of what I might do.
So here's my question. Did Teyvat ever have an impact, or are they going to have one? That's the question. That's the big question. And I think that's kind of...
Try that again.
I feel like that's kind of what they're
This also.
hiding. And like there is a debate to be had as to whether the primordial one versus second who came was an impact, what was a Honkai, or if the one thing that I fucking hate about this is the terminology is so close to Evangelion, but you can't use the same terminology as Evangelion. It's so awful.
What's wrong? Afraid of what I. Here. You can't run.
Let's make it quick. Who's next? Disappear
If they add an name back to there needs to be at least one Hersher. Yeah, exactly. But and that's kind of where that's the debate that you can have is, was the second who came a Hersher? Because I feel like there is kind of this wide-standing agreement now that
rules are made to
the
be
primordial one did not lose. The primordial one is still in control of Teyvat, right? Like I think that's kind of a wide-standing agreement. Because I think for a while, like when we first got Before Sun and Moon, everybody was like, oh shit, primordial one, and then the second who came, and then they won. And so now, like, everybody had this kind of assumption that Teyvat was ruled under the second who came. But I think then we had that all collective, but did they moment? Like, everybody collectively asked, but did they? We're just kind of assuming, because it never states in Before Sun and Moon who won between Primordial One and the second who came. So I think it's kind of this wide-standing agreement that the Primordial One is still the one that's in control. So you could make an argument that the second who came was a Hersher or was the Honkai and didn't. Like, and somehow the primordial one prevailed. Right? Like, that's kind of the... There is an argument to be made there. But also there's the argument that, you know, there is the argument to be made that Honkai is going to happen based off of the... Because, like, there are parallels between... Like, there are parallels between, like, this is a crackpot theory, this is so dumb, but there are parallels between the cores, like the gems of whatever, the 4 gems. What are they? The four keys that pretty much putting them together creates the Hersher the Void, I think. It's the lightning of conquest, storm of desire, fire of affliction, death of tranquility. Those are the 4 gems, and one of them is in Wendy. And so there is parallels between that and how the Gnosises work, right? So like, what if gathering like what if like the Fatui gathering all these Gnosises is analogous to Kiana gathering all the gems and creating the core and, you know, becoming the Hersher the Void. Like, what if that's like when the Fatui just kind of gather all the Gnosises, that will just create a Hersher. Like, that would be kind of a sweet ass twist, though. Honestly, that's a dumb theory, but that would be so fucking cool.
So you are afraid of me.
Told you I could fight.
Or yeah, what if the primordial one was the Hersher that kind of did their thing? But there's also this, like, there's also something I recently learned. When Homu Labs tweeted that thread.
Try that again.
When I asked him, like,
This awesome move.
if the Aeons are the absolute, like, ultimate godlike authority in the entirety of the Hoyoverse,
To guard and defend.
then why don't we see them in HI3 or anywhere else in any other Hoyo game?
This battle is unavoidable.
And, like, I don't know where I was going with this, actually. Where was I going with that?
My turn.
Well, the Honkai. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever the 4 cores are. I don't know. Well, no, okay, because those... Okay, this isn't me trying to correct you. This is me not understanding the story as of right now.
What a heck.
Those 4 gems were created when they destroyed the second Hersher, right? like when they destroyed the second Hersher, the Hersher core was left, and then they shattered it into 4 pieces.
I want to try something out.
And then one of those 4 pieces
Who's next?
was the Storm of Desire, I think, was put into Wendy's calf. Right? Or am I getting that wrong? Or is it, like, this is 2 different things?
Disappear among the sea of butterflies.
No, they
Illusions of the past.
oh, okay, they were created there. Okay. Because I thought that was the core being shattered.
Are made to be broken.
Like when they destroy the second Hersher. Second Hersher, fucking, what's her name? Something. I'm so glad I took notes. there's so much that goes on in this game.
What's wrong? Afraid of what I might do?
No, Salien's the ship. Sirene. Sirene's the second Hersher, or it was. And then they kind of dicked her down.
Gotta try hard. Watch this awesome move.
Okay, each core has a different... Oh, okay. Got it.
Let's go.
That makes more sense. They're their own thing. Okay.
I'll introduce
That's an important thing to understand.
Tough luck running into me.
disappear among the sea of butterflies.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Illusions of the past.
And like one of the reasons why I'm actually kind of
Don't mess with
I do enjoy doing that. Like doing this video thing is going through the story twice helps understand it way more, an incredible amount, because the first time you go through it, you do it as the game wants you to. And so you're gonna miss stuff, all that stuff. But then when I have to write the script, I have to rewatch all my footage and read transcripts of the read transcripts of the quests. And doing that, like being able to rewind and do whatever at your own pace,
illusions of the past.
incredible for comprehension. It is insane.
Watch this awesome move. This battle is unavoidable.
You start to notice all the foreshadowing too. Yeah, exactly. And like all the weird details, like the really strange details, that are just kind of thrown in just because. It's actually not bad. Fanes, that's his name. So the universe and the microcosm of the world. To me, what that says is microcosm of the world is a small, like, translates roughly to a small section of the world, which to me is Teyvat, separated Teyvat from the imaginary tree. Separated the microcosm of the world, Teyvat, from the universe, the imaginary tree, kind of put it over to the side to kind of exist in its own thing. Rest of the planet, not rest of the planet, rest of the imaginary tree. Well, because, like, that's where I was going. Like, I learned from Homu Labs that every, like, leaf on the imaginary tree is not a universe. It's just its own planet. So, when you take a planet out from... Like, when you take a single planet out of the imaginary tree, it's not ripping a planet out from a universe. It's just taking a planet. It's like plucking one leaf is a planet, a world, a whatever word you want to use to describe it. So, like, HSR, we're jumping between leaves of, or at least under Homu Labs' interpretation, we might get that proven wrong at some point, but under Homu Labs' interpretation, we're not jumping between different planets in the universe. We are jumping between leaves on the imaginary tree. That is what is happening in HSR.
Keep at it.
Yeah, Teyvat already existed. Teyvat's weird. I would love, because like we understand how a lot of places like apply. We understand how HSR applies to the imaginary tree. We understand how HI3 applies to the imaginary tree. We have no fucking idea where Genshin is, because Genshin could be just its own little like a tucked away corner on the imaginary tree. It could be chilling out in the Sea of Quanta. It could be fucking somewhere else. We don't know. That's the one mystery I want to know. Where the fuck is Genshin on the imaginary tree? That's just like, if I was able to ask Hoyo, like writers at Hoyo, one question, that would be it. Where the fuck is Teyvat on the imaginary tree? Like, that is the one thing I would ask, because it infuriates me how little we know about that. I'm actually gonna finish this up. Because like once we know, like once we actually understand where that is, like where Teyvat is, a lot will kind of just, a lot of our understanding of Teyvat will kind of snap in place. Hello, Eris. Also, can I just say, this was so adorable. The Branya Zilla interview was so cute. Speaking of random theory, what? Because there's this theme of stuff being hung upside down, and so now hanged, whatever. And so now there's been a mention of a sage doing that on an Irminsul tree twice. That's also something that Odin did. That's a Nordic mythology thing. Odin hung upside down on Yggdrasil for, I forget how, was it something, however many days, to like gain wisdom or whatever. Wow. Might be a connection with the rock. Yeah, the Carry Bear thing. What do we need to be in General Hall? Exterior. Aha. I'm doing the wrong one. Biggest question about Genshin is the relation between Imaginary Tree and the Irminsul. Yeah, that's also a good point. And Carry Bear, yeah. How do I get that fucking much visitor appeal? I swap out Serval? Where is Serval? You. Branya. That's how I do it. Fixed it. What if Genshin is a prequel to Honkai? That's not probable, because there is, oh, I need to find the video again. There was a comic panel for Honkai, for HI3, that mentioned like a universe that probably is Teyvat by a character in HI3, and it's a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I need to find it. Because it's interesting how in Genshin, the sage who did that to gain knowledge about runes, the one of the sins of the academia, is searching for the origin of the world. Yeah. Not the panel with the Valen. Like, somebody directly mentioned Sumeru. Like, I fucking forget what it is. Oh, this is gonna be hell to find, but the Seed of Sumeru. Somebody mentions the Seed of Sumeru. I think it's Durandal. I think that's Durandal. I'm not entirely sure. Somebody mentions the Seed of Sumeru, though. And that causes problems. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, the Seed of Sumeru, Chrissy. Yeah, that's exactly it. That makes it very unlikely that it's a prequel. Somebody needs to make an all Hoyoverse connections video. That's hard to do because there's a lot. There is so many. It is crazy. Once you start digging into it, the amount of connections that happen between all of the games is obscene. It gets actually like crazy. That would not be a feasible video to make. We're gonna do you.
Time for a fun. You'll pay for this.
Don't mess with me.
Ah, yes.
Can I have fun this time?
I do enjoy it when that happens to my...
Time for fun. Told
I'm
you.
gonna do that real quick. Thank you.
We've entered the storm. To guard and defend. Crush them.
But there is a theory that I saw that was talking about how that applies to Genshin.
What a headache. Who's next? Disappear among the sea of butterflies.
Because, like, that can't be a coincidence, Chrissy. Like, you can't just say, yeah, the Seed of Sumeru, and then not, like...
Moran, time for a fun.
And then not have that be something else. Like, that's just not something you can do.
Tough luck running into me.
Or maybe that's just my Scott doesn't do coincidences mindset that I grew up on. I don't know. It's just... That just seems dumb to me. To say, yeah, Seed of Sumeru uses a name that is also used in Genshin. Genshin has no one-to-one XPs, which is all Murata. But like, there's also that's also possibly because of the fact that Honkai or Genshin Teyvat is not on the imaginary tree. There is like there are characters that are like Venti and Wendy. That's the closest we've gotten. But they're always at least like gender bent or just kind of take design hints, but are never one-to-one. So that implies that it's further, or at least if it is on the imaginary tree, it is way further away from everything else we've seen. It is like, Teyvat, if it is on the imaginary tree, it's on the absolute opposite side of the tree from HI3 and GGZ, and now HSR. On Honkai, there's also Saint Fontaine. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's just, it is interesting to point out because the parallels between Genshin and the rest of the Hoyoverse games are way more distorted. Yeah, that's a very good way of putting it. Sarah Moore is they're distorted. The parallels are much more distorted, which is fascinating. And furthers that question of where the fuck on the tree is Teyvat. Because like it's because there is a whole like interpretation that the closer in proximity worlds are on the tree, the more similar they're gonna be. But if Teyvat is on the tree, then it's gonna be on a completely different branch. Like on the opposite fucking end. Where things are similar, and like the theory is like there is an interpretation that says that all of the games we've seen are on very similar branches. GGZ and HI3 are very close in proximity to each other, but Genshin is like all the fucking way out there, or it's just straight up not on the tree. There we go. Teyvat could also be outside of the tree. That is the theory that I like. I like the idea of Teyvat just straight up not being on the tree, but like in close proximity to it. It's just kind of floating out there. And somehow it is anchored to the tree. I think that would be cool. Because there's also like something that you'll notice is a lot of chain and mandible. What the fuck is the word? What's the word for like a chain? Whatever. There's a lot of chain imagery, is pretty much what I'm saying. There's a lot of chain imagery in Genshin, particularly when we're talking about the Abyss. About the Abyss and the Abyss Order, there's a lot of I don't know. I'm trying to find it. I have a word on the tip of my tongue, and it's kind of pissing me off. But yeah, there's a lot of chain imagery, which implies a very core, symbolically a very core aspect of Teyvat is, being chained to something. Bubble Universe outside of the tree. Wasn't that an event in HI3? Was going to the Sea of Quanta? Okay, Chrissy, maybe that's what the Irminsul is. What if Irminsul is the anchor to the imaginary tree? That's the importance of the tree is of Irminsul is it's the anchor.
Wanna spar?
And that's kind of why it's so sacred. And like that's why it's so important, and that's why it kind of serves as a foundation for the world, is that without it, it would not, like, Teyvat would not exist. Okay, I think the first time we went to, like, Honkai players went to the Sea of Quanto was in an event, but you have, like, you're able to go in the main story. I think that's what Homu said. I don't know. I have started watching Honkai HI3 creators. I'm starting to piece together some of the lore. Not doing so hot with it, but I think at some point, like the first time Honkai Impact players were able to go to the Sea of Quanto wasn't an event, but since we have been able to go through the story. That's holy shit, Ciramore. That's actually a really good idea. What if Irminsul is just a branch of, or like a small fucking twig from the imaginary tree? That's what is acting as the anchor. That would I don't know how that would work, but like that's the anchor, is that the foundation of Teyvat is a branch of the imaginary tree. This is the best exhibit in this entire thing, because if you do that, display screen mounted on a bulky cabinet. In your dreams, a man with deep blue hair was murmuring at the screen. It couldn't even light up Dear Gods. Fuck that shit. Will this branch still be connected to the Cocoon of Finality? That's a good question. I do not have that answer because I have no fucking idea what's up with the Cocoon of Finality. Homo did tell me that... Oh, hi Zilla. Impressing the kids. Homo did tell me that the current theory right now is that the Cocoon of Finality is an emanator of the Aeon of Finality. We're not entirely sure, but that is a current theory. That's right now because we were just introduced to that. We were just recently introduced to the Cocoon of Finality, and we really don't know what's up with it. Which would be cool as fuck. Finality sounds like a Final Fantasy final boss. Well, yeah, because final. Terminus is, well, because, so Finality, like the Aeon of Finality, their name is Terminus. We know that for a fact. That's in a loading screen tip. But, aside from that, we know jack shit about Finality and how that works and what it is. Or anything, and like how it relates to absolutely anything. Because like Cocoon of Finality and like Terminus and the idea of Finality is different from Honkai, from what I have been able to gather. Like it's different from the concept of Honkai. It's its own thing. And, like, I think Chrissy told me at one point that, like, with the arrival of the Cocoon of Finality, Hershers don't really exist anymore. The Cocoon of Finality doesn't think like humans. I don't think it would be an emanator. But also keep in mind, Chrissy, that... in Noose is an Aeon. A literal computer is an Eon. What's stopping from Eons giving their power to other things? like anything that is sentient can become an Aeon. So what, like, that logic reasonably should extend to Aeons giving their power to things. They don't have to give their power to humans. They can give their power to anything that is sentient. Because that's what an Emanator is.
What a headache. I'll end your misery.
An Emanator is just a being that has been
Time for
given
fun.
power
Tough luck running into me.
by Aeons.
Always a weakness.
I'll end your misery.
The cocoon is more like a mirror. So it can follow a path. It doesn't have to. Like, Emanators gain their power from following a path. From being, or from just
Enemies ahead.
being a
Upward
very good
threat.
example of a path, of, you know, embodying that. So much so that the Aeons have taken notice.
Ah, great.
So,
Try hard sometimes.
um,
Watch this awesome move.
so anything, an Aeon can give
Time.
and impart their power to anything that is sentient that can actually make use of it.
My turn.
At least reasonably. Like, under my understanding of this, that's what can
You'll pay
happen.
for this. Lend me your strength.
So it would make sense for, if Terminus had a reason to, they would give their power to the Cocoon of Finality, whatever it was before it became the Cocoon of Finality.
More
Like, I have no idea what the Cocoon is. I have not even seen a picture of it. So I have absolutely zero understanding of it. But from what, like, from the little I've heard of it,
This is double speed.
that makes sense to me. And also, this is something that Homu Labs told me. I did not come up with this theory. This is just something that sounds reasonable. Formidable foe. Funny. Do you think new paths will be available as the game goes by? Eh? Maybe. If anything, it would be elation. That's it. I don't imagine anything else being introduced. Because Aha is the only, like, other Aeon that's fully active in the same way that, like, Sheepa or whoever is. Because, like... Because, like, what? Like, Ho-Oh is, like, weave themselves into the fabric of the universe.
Can I have
Taseronth
fun this time?
and Idrilla are dead. You know, you could go on. All of the other Aeons that aren't the main 7
Mustn't fall.
are all kind of absent or gone, except for Aha. So, if anything, it would be Elation, would be the only other path to be introduced.
More enemies. My turn. Here. You'll pay for this. Try that again. You can't run.
So you
I love
are
March so much. Such a good character. It's like a weird giant purple eye. Yeah. That just feels like, I know that
Can I have fun this time?
Hoyoverse is a huge fan. They are such huge fans of Evangelion, but that is just the single most Eva thing ever. I love it. Especially after watching the rebuild films. with the whole like all the moon shit that happened in the rebuild films. Yeah, that's just the single most fucking Ava thing. HI3 had a collab with Ava. That was when I first started. That's when I first tried the game, was during the Ava collab. I remember that. When I first tried the game, they were doing the Ava collab, and then that just kind of, I was like, I don't like this, and then I didn't play it until now. Because like the elevator sequence was different, I think. No, it wasn't. It was just like the main screen was different. It was all Ava-ified. It was actually really cool. Got that. You got that. Also, hold on. Give me a second. No, it wasn't a gun. Wait, hold on. I don't know. I forget. This looks like the thing that Siegfried was using to fight Cyrene. I just realized that. But yeah. There is like, and I have a feeling that HI3 or HSR, Honkai Star Rail, is going to be the game that ties it all together. Right? As HI3 goes into its as HI3 goes into part 2, and as GGZ also goes into part 2, and as we start getting further and further into Genshin, I think this is the game that's going to tie it all together, because it's about traveling between different places on the imaginary tree. So, yeah. Judgment Mission Mash. Yeah, that's it. Imagine they release another game that englobes it. Watch, that's what Zenless is. I am of the personal theory that Zenless won't take place in the Hoyoverse. Zenless will be in its entirely own thing. Yeah, ZZZ will be its own can of worms. Also, goodbye, Ryle. Thank you for joining. I forgot to say that. But yeah, that's yeah. ZZ has that one. I have no idea. I literally know nothing about ZZZ. I have zero idea what it's supposed to be, what the gameplay's like. I just know that it has such fake dystopia vibes. Like, it's crazy. Like, literally all I know is that it is the definition of fake dystopia. I'm just gonna grind this out until I get max Revita score. Because I'm getting enough. Yeah, I had like no, because like ZZZ was barely on my radar until I watched Vanity working on it, working on his like video that he's making. And then I was like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting. This is giving me like Fallout vibes almost. And then And then I started looking into it a little bit more. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of neat. I did the entire museum thing in one day. Yeah. I have been slowly working on it. 196,000. Woo. 96,000. 96,000. I love In the Heights. That's such a good musical. Yay. How unexpected, Miss Whaley. With your help, the History and Cultural Museum has become the most popular spot in Billabong. Wow, that's impressive, actually. I did not expect that. A friend of mine who works at the Golden Theater was ranting to me about how everyone spends their free time going to the museum, that even the number of opera goers has decreased. Watching you work, I feel like I've reignited the passion I had when I first applied to work at the museum. Thank you. You have the future management work to me. You have been busy for so long, you should have time to appreciate the changes you have brought to this museum. I hope we can see you often, Miss Whaley. Whoa! We're good. I think this has been entirely cleaned out. Look at me go. Woo! Finishing events. I'm so good at this. What even... How long do we have? We have 10 days on you. Nice. Yeah, I have been we're working on the thing. What, 16? It's some. I haven't saved gems like this in a long ass time, and I have no idea what they're going towards. I have no idea what I'm putting wishes towards. On the ZZZ site, Billabong is mentioned. Oh my god. Let's hope not. I'm just waiting for Vanity to make his fucking video on that, because like that's what he's working on right now. Is he's working on a video that is kind of everything we know about ZZZ. So if it was, and he'll talk about it, because I sure is fucking curious about that. I'm so ready for Fontaine. I am too. Oh my god. Ugh. I'm so ready for Fontaine. Shit needs to get serious. I want shit to go fucking crazy in Fontaine. I actually want to keep doing World 3. Because I need these. There's still 3.8. Yeah. There is still 3.8. We're chilling though. I'm waiting for the 3.8 reveal stream. And then hopefully there's hella teases in that stream for 3.8. I will be... Oh. I'm so excited for that. When is the stream anyway? I have no fucking idea. I've been so focused on HSR content that I have completely forgotten about anything Genshin related. It's actually kind of funny. What was also hilarious, right, was when HSR's Twitter apologized for the glitch that is the unable to manage the museum after you finish it. They effectively just told us when 1.2 would be coming out. I'm like, Genshin would never.
Time for a buzz.
June 23rd to 25th. Yeah, something like that.
What a headache.
But yeah, I'm just waiting.
My turn.
We're getting there.
Phew.
I'm so excited for Fontaine. Rah. I want a new region. I want to get out of this goddamn desert. I want to see new colors for once. My God, not a single fucking one abundance. One abundance. None it won't be. We won't get another archipelago.
Don't mess with me.
Steampunk goes burr. I also hope steampunk, but we'll see what happens.
More enemies. Time for a buzz.
There's a very good chance it isn't.
Naughty child. No.
Or is it the steampunk we're imagining?
Headache.
But we'll see. We'll see. I'm also doing this farming not intending to actually get anything. Or like I'm not intending to beat it. I just want to
This time. Told you I could
get
fight.
artifacts and points.
Here.
I just don't think that I think they've learned enough from Inazuma. I have faith that they will not pull that again. Expect the Fontaine to have a lot more lore bus. I do too. If they don't, I will be severely disappointed. To be completely honest.
What a headache.
It's just we've gone so long without anything. We got some mentions of Heavenly Principles at the end of Simaru, and that was it. So I just feel like we just need a little bit more. Hydro Disruption, true. That's a good point, Chrissy.
Don't mess with me.
We'll get... Yeah, well, we definitely need something. I don't know.
Told you I could fight. Time for a shot.
Because if we have to wait until Natlan for anything like that, that's gonna be awful. But like, I also feel like part of me feels like Natlan is going to be kind of a not down tempo, but
Don't mess with me.
it's going to be a preparation. It's gonna be like that, you know,
My turn.
like the night before a siege, you're all laying awake,
I'm okay.
What a headache.
ready, like mentally preparing for it. That's kind of gonna be what Natlan is. It's gonna be the little moments of rest that we get before we head into
Enemies ahead. Up for a scrap?
Snezhnaya. So there needs to be at least something to excuse, like
Hard sometimes.
there needs to be something in Fontaine like that. It needs to be the top of a roller coaster, and then we go into like a dip in intensity in Natlan, and then it's straight back up. So Fontaine needs to be some sort of climax. We need to have some wild shit go on in
Can I have fun?
Natlan for it to like make sense, or in Fontaine for it to make sense. Just from like a story writing standpoint,
Time for a buzz.
it just needs to be that way. I feel like, at least. Isn't that Archon supposed to tell us a secret? Yeah, it's a secret about how war works,
Illusions of the past.
or like the secret about war. But the funny dragon, whatever her name was, told us that anyways. So or yeah, there's some aspect about how war works, and I feel like it's less going to be about, or at least in.
Try hard sometimes.
Okay, so in Travail,
Watch this awesome move.
Dane says that it's how it's like the
Naughty child.
in how war works and like the secrets of war, but I feel like that's less going to be how it works and more
Time for a buzz.
how
My turn.
Celestia did what it did in what's his face.
Mess with me.
I feel like that's what it's gonna be. I need to take these guys out. A pet mentioned, yeah, that's it. A pet mentioned the line, and I feel like Natline is not gonna be
Time for a buzz.
Natline is not gonna be
Up to my
about like, oh, this is war, like literally this is how war works. It's gonna be like Murata is the Archon of War, so reasonably she was there and very involved on the attack of Conria.
Illusions of the past.
So like she is there to tell us everything about how Celestia works, why they did what they did, and how they did it.
Justin, just a little something. Think nothing of it. Thanks a lot.
But then there's also that line of when the god of war tells you a secret, it's because she has her reasons. That's also a
Time for a
I
buzz.
used to believe in what they did, but I don't any longer. I have my reasons for telling you these secrets of war. Probably because I do not like the Sustainer anymore.
Disappear among the sea of
And there's a
butterflies.
whole theory going on right now,
Past.
that's been circulating on Twitter, that the Sustainer is being Dewdrop. Fuck yeah. There is a theory going around on Twitter right now saying that the Sustainer is being corrupted by the Honkai. That's the reason why she's kind of being a bitch, to put it lightly, is because she's being corrupted by the Honkai. So, yeah. That also is a very, like, reasonable explanation for why this is all happening. Is because the Sustainer and Celestia have kind of gotten sick or have turned bad. And so all the Archons, even though they're contractually obligated to not do that, are all starting to turn on them in their own ways. Curio. I don't like the fact that it's named Entropic. Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yes. We don't even know if she's alive. That's also a good point. Probably, but eh.
Come on, man.
I will say though, we don't even know if Murata was present. It may have been a different God of War,
Don't mess with me.
but yeah, it's a whole thing.
Can I have fun this time? Time for a buzz. My turn.
That'll take more than medicine. I'll end your misery.
I don't even know it. Yeah, I don't know, cause I thought there were other references to her in item lore
Tough luck running into me.
for some reason.
Phew.
Who's next?
Why do I feel like there's more references of her?
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Was or is note 1. There's at least 2 Pyro Archons, but Murata's position in history of the Pyro Archon has not been addressed. Yeah, okay, so the Chinese version of the manga's prologue chapter calls her the god of Pyro, Hua Zhishen, and the god of war, Zhanzheng Zhishen, both of which are titles affiliated with Netland's Archon in Teyvat chapter storyline preview. So it's implied that she currently is, but also we've kind of had this happen twice before with Archons thinking that one is something and it gets, you know, it gets changed around. That happened with A. That happened with Kusanali. Like, it's honestly at this point I have my reservations.
This is double speed. My turn.
Psych, she's dead. Exactly, yeah.
Gotta try hard some. Watch this awesome move.
They're different gods. Psych, she's dead.
That'll take more than
Um,
nap time.
Yeah. Don't remind me of the A retcon. Yeah, I have to because it's a thing that happened. I'm contractually obligated. But yeah. So there's a lot of shit that's up in the air with
Fall into misery.
the Pyro Archon. Because also what makes me think that it is Murata and not anybody else is because Murata is referred to as the god of war. And, like, if she, like, I don't know, there are connections with Murata being the god of war. And there are references to the god of war in Travail. So that's who we're gonna meet. But the problem is, there has never been an Archon change without a slight change in belief. Or like because like there's the Archon's element, and then there's their domain, their ideal in Honkai terms. So there is the Archon of Pyro, but they're also the god of whatever. So there's Kusanali and Rukhtavata, god of wood, god of wisdom. There's god of transience, god of eternity. That's it. God of eternity, transience, eternity, all that stuff, right? There's always been a change of ideal when there's a new god, when there's a new god taking up the Archon spot. That feels weird to me if it was a god of war and then another god of war, because there can only really be a god of war if we're taking, like, if we're just going by, you know, the standard, like, this is how god domains work. So it's very possible maybe they break that rule. I don't know. I don't see them doing that
Disappear among the sea of butterflies.
because like it's just a long-standing like
Time for a buzz.
rule
Told you I could fight.
that in fantasy it's one god per domain. Like that's how that works. That's just how it's always worked in fantasy.
Nap time.
Who's next?
So I feel like it's gonna stay that way in Honkai or in Genshin.
This combat me.
Kind of wasted my ult there.
Speed. Time for a buzz. Tough luck running into me.
Don't mess
Do
with
that.
me. I'll end your misery. What a headache. Disappear among the sea of butterflies.
So yeah, there's a lot of it's so strange to me, right? That like it's so strange to me that the one Archon that we had named before pretty much anybody else aside from Venti was Murata. Fucking the Pyro Archon, the second to last. Like, that seems so strange to me. Like, I didn't even think the Tsaritsa was named at that point, right?
Watch this awesome move.
Like, when the comic came out,
Took the bait.
the only other god that we had named
This combat needs
was Venti.
optimizing. This is double speed. My turn.
And yet we know Jack. Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes me so weird about Natlan is we knew, like, Natlan's Archon is the first Archon that we got a name out of, aside from Venti. And then, you know, we just, yeah. It was we get Venti's name, and then we get Murata, and then we're like, what the fuck?
Time for a buzz.
He's like, didn't Venti also go unnamed when he says you are child of Murata, aren't you?
Gotta try hard. Watch this awesome move.
Because I think in the manga, Venti shows up, talks to Vanessa, says you are a child of Murata, aren't you? And she asks what that is. And that's all before Venti is named. Venti says his name. I just find it so funny. All I know about Natlan is 1 Archon name, 2 element, 3 boxing. Yep. Gotta love it.
Huh. Crush now or crush later?
So the theory right now, Casp, is because Natlan's music in the background is a tango, which comes from South America, it's probably going to be indigenous South American.
Disappear among the sea of butterflies.
Because that's also that's also the etymology behind Iansen's name can be traced back to indigenous South American
Naughty child.
languages,
Nap time.
which I think is so cool.
Only a scratch.
Einstein is also West African, yes, but matching that with the fact that it's a tango, which is, there is no debate as to where that's from. Tangos are South American. It is most definitely indigenous South America, or at least I think it is.
Good as new. This combat needs This is double speed. You took the bait.
But also we got astronomy and astrology
My turn.
in
Disappear among the sea of butterflies.
we got astronomy and astrology in Cimario, so I don't know, that would feel weird to redo that. Maybe that's just me. Hope Natlan can be dropped with the Fatui vid. That would be really cool, actually. Like 0 leaks. It's like 3. We're in like version like 4.5, and then we're like, oh, surprise, 5.0. There you go. That would be the most just troll move ever.
What a headache.
I have claimed that, yeah.
Only a scratch.
Time for a shot. Nap time. Time for a buzz.
Apparently, most of Fontaine's story, that is coming from a shit poster.
Combat needs up.
Those quote-unquote leaks are coming from a shit poster who has done this before. So, yeah. There is a very good chance that all of those leaks are complete bullshit.
What a headache. Who's next?
You can't run.
Yeah, obviously still mute everything just in case, but from what I understand, it's nothing to worry about.
Can I have fun this time? Time for a fun.
Quanta, there we go. Thank you.
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
More enemies. This combat needs
I will like.
double speed.
I don't have a I don't search leaks out. But I don't have a problem with them if they are simply just character like skills and descriptions leaks that come across my timeline.
Can I have fun this time?
Like that's kind of that's happened a lot with this game. I don't
Mess with me.
actively search out the fuck ton of HSR character leaks that have been happening with,
Told ya I could
but
write.
like I don't search them out, but a lot of them just come across my timeline. I'm like, okay, cool. Here's this character. They look neat. Quantum, I'll take it. 5-star Quantum. The simple ones with New Fontaine. Yeah, exactly. Although, to be fair, that's been every single fucking Fontaine leak. Oh, these are actually really cool. Holy shit. That just feels like Fontaine style is new Fontaine character with white hair. That's just every single fucking Fontaine character. It's either white or pink hair. That just feels like that's it. I probably should have taken that energy one, but oh well.
Gotta try hard sometime. Watch this awesome
And like
move.
part of me sometimes wishes, because like
You took the bait.
really the main reason why I have to be very wary about leaks is because as a content creator that like it's very unlikely, but it can get me in very deep shit with Hoyo. Or make Hoyo not like me. And sometimes I wish I could look at leaks, but other times I'm like, no, I like the surprises.
This is double speed. Tough luck running into me.
What a headache. Who's next? I'll end your misery. What?
Leaks is what
More
keeps you
enemies.
playing. Yeah.
Don't mess with me. Disappear among
And you get
the
lucky,
sea
you
of
just can't talk about it.
butterflies.
Yeah, but
Illusions of the
there's also
past.
this like compulsion of if I do find some, like if I do go onto like HSR leaks subreddit or whatever, and go rip Reddit by the way, if I do that, then I have this compulsion to actually talk about it.
Time for
Um,
fun. This is
So
double
it's
speed.
it's kind of a self-control thing of I don't actively
That was
search
more than
out leaks, because if I do search out leaks, then I'm going to end up accidentally talking about them. They will like slip into my, I'll Freudian slip all the fucking time because I have zero self-control.
Can I have fun this time? Time for a buzz.
What a headache. I'll end your misery.
Naughty child.
I'll free you from
I wouldn't say I can't keep secrets. It's just with how much I stream,
illusions of the past.
I'm bound to talk about it at once. I'm bound to eventually talk about it. Yeah, and that's the reason why I enjoy like I'm okay with character leaks, is they are so helpful, and like part of me I understand,
More enemies.
and I think something that a lot of people should also understand is that leaks are not entirely unplanned. Like
I'll end your misery.
when you see a character get leaked, like the patch before they come out, or a couple patches before they come out, that is most likely intentional.
Time for a buzz.
Or at least if it isn't intentional, Hoyo doesn't do anything about it because it is so effective at promoting their game and also giving these people outlets to plan how they're gonna spend is just straight up beneficial to marketing. It generally is, like, legitimately. It's a standard in the gaming industry of intentionally leaking content. Like this was something that came out when those huge GTA leaks happened. Cuz like people at Rockstar talked about it. Like, they were like, yeah, leaking is a legitimate marketing strategy. It is something that game devs will do. Large game devs will leak things because that just makes marketing so much easier. Because the whole idea of we're not supposed to know this makes it spread even further. And it helps it go even more viral. But then there's things like the HSR leaks that is not intentional. The amount that was leaked, or entire story leaks, or whatever, stuff like that, that's not intentional. You have to kind of understand, like, if it seems like it's too useful to be true, like 3 patches down the line, we're getting just a little bit of information on this character, and just enough for it to strike your fancy. And it's like just a little bit too, it feels like a little bit too engineered, then that is most likely work of marketing that is like genuinely intentional. If it is, here are 70 fucking characters that were somehow obtained, that's not intentional. Or here is the entire story, or here are screenshots of the map like 7 patches before it's supposed to come out. That is not intentional. It's just understanding like what would be beneficial for MiHoYo to release.
Victory means preparation.
What would be nothing but beneficial for Hoyo to release? That's kind of the question that you have to ask yourself when you're dealing with leaks.
Watch this awesome move.
Ah, great. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
More enemies.
I don't know why I ulted before I did this.
This combat needs This is double speed. Tough luck running into me. Cute. Nap time.
Don't mess with me. I'll end your misery.
This ends here.
Only a scratch.
Get rid of those Goonies.
Just a little something. Think nothing of
I don't even know why I'm doing this fight. I have no intention of actually doing it.
Time for a buzz.
We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Here!
What a headache.
Gotta try hard some. Watch this awesome move!
Seize the initiative. Time to finish this.
This combat need. This is double speed.
So you are afraid of it? Yeah. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Tough luck running into me.
Of course, Casp. They've got a fan service.
Nap time.
Don't mess with me. Whoops.
Try that again.
I just love the amount of debuffs Silverwolf does. It's just comedic how many debuffs you can get on with Silverwolf. Yeah, it's definitely not an accident. They know what they're doing.
You can't run. Huh. More enemies. Time for a fun.
Oh, come on, dude.
In the name of preservation.
I need to actually start shielding.
Who's next?
There we go.
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
On my command.
Just a little something. Think nothing of it. Thanks a lot.
Stay focused.
Gotta try hard. Watch this awesome move. This combat needs optimizing.
Let's get weakness on him as ASAP. Okay.
Can I have fun this time?
This game, most of the fatigue that will die. I don't know about that. Honestly, I don't know. I just feels like that's just dumb. That's just kind of throwing money away. Like, Hoyo cares about money at this point, but like that just feels like they're throwing shit away.
In the name of preservation.
Ow.
Try that again. Annoying. Gotta try hard some. Watch
You
this
are very
awesome
close to
move.
dying. I don't like that, actually. Heal.
Good as new. Just a little something. Think nothing of it.
I just hope Capitano won't die. I just want to know what the fuck's up with Capitano. Because he's so weird to me.
This is double speed.
Yeah, Senora was enough. I think my favorite thing about this community is
Time to finish.
about the Genshin community is how copium Senora stands still are. They have not accepted it at this point, and I just find that so
Disappear among the
funny.
sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
But I just don't feel like that's something they'll do again. I feel like if they're gonna do something with
Naughty child.
future harbingers,
This combat needs optimizing.
I feel like it's gonna be something along the lines of what happened to Greg. Sorry, Scaramouche. I need to actually use his name,
Just a little
not
something.
Greg.
Think nothing of it. Thanks a lot.
Baby girl is Greg to me, not Scaramouche.
Into me. Watch this awesome move.
Let's shield Silverwolf.
Can I have fun this time?
I'll free you from your disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Try that again. Annoying. This combat needs This is double speed.
Yeah, it's just comedic how copium. They still are. It's been When did Senora die? It's been over a year since Senora died. There's still copium about it. It's so funny to me.
You took the bait. Time for a buzz.
Don't mess with me.
This
Yeah,
combat
over a year
needs
at this
optimal-
point. It's just so
This is
funny to
double
me.
speed. Time for a shot.
On my command. In the name of preservation.
Try that again. Just a little something. Think nothing of it.
Pulcinella stands are also super funny because he looks like that. Okay. One of the funniest moments I still think in the history of this game is learning that Pulcinella looks like that. I cannot get over that moment when I first watched Winter's Night's Lazzo and looking at him and being like, holy shit, he's ugly. That was so funny. Oh my god.
Naughty child. Nap time.
What a headache.
Stay focused.
Everybody being like, holy fuck, he looks like that?
You can't run. This combat needs optimize. This is double speed.
Gotta try hard sometimes.
Oh yeah, the leaks about Eula. My god, it's so like I don't believe it. That's just the dumb. Who would name their character end user's license agreement? That just seems so dumb to me.
Buzz.
Stop giving me
Who's next?
dumb shit.
We stand together. This ends here.
Fuck.
I'll free you from disappearing.
Oh,
in
not the
sea of
wrong one.
butterflies. Illusions
Meh.
of the past.
Riv. And combat finalist. Yeet. Claim. How many do I not have? I have a lot I haven't actually gotten. It's impressive. 900. Physical damage? Yeah, physical damage DPS sounds awful. I feel like there are some people that would simp over her anyways. How do I not want to do these? Because, like, part of me wants to follow on the Fall of an Aeon. Because I feel like having a 5-star light cone on Destruction Traveler is just important. Because I have the Mole's Welcome You on her right now. I don't have a better light cone. I feel like I should save for Fall of an Aeon. But also, I want more wishes, man. My gambling addiction. I want standard wishes. Let me show you where I'm at in the banner right now. Right, so I am 161. I wished a couple of times. And then it turned gold, and then it was Nihility. I was like, fucking got welt. And then his light cone showed up, and I got really mad. Like a taser romp. It's like I'm so lonely. Yeah, I also love how nobody can fucking spell his name. Nobody can spell their name. I love it so much because their name is impossible to spell. I always have to take like 3 checks to make sure I spelled their name correctly. I love it. It's so funny to me. Where's the databank? Cause there's two fucking there's T-A-Y, there's two Z's, and then it's Ronth. Like, that's so dumb. Also, fables about the stars. Hurry and shut your doors and windows if shadows appear at the noontide horizon, for that is no early dusk, but a hungering swarm. It's the Vestarana. Dude, Tazeronth is just the Vestarana. Or what's their name? The things in the library in the sounds in the library. Vashta Nerada, that's it. It's the Vashta Nerada. Erudition is the hunk of junk, the preservation is a blockhead, the Hun has no sense of humor, and the destruction is a lunatic. All the Aeons are as stubborn as they come. What a shame for Aha. Vashta Nerada. Yeah, exactly. Tazeronth was just the Vashta Nerada. You cannot change my mind. Yeah. It's interesting, like, from what I under, like, what makes me so fascinated in Aha is they are only they are one of the only ones that can only be represented by sentience, right? Remembrance can be aside after news, yeah, well, yeah, after news, but even then, like, yes, news can be enjoyed by sentience, but also not, because, like, a computer can follow the path of erudition without being sentient. You cannot have elation without sentience. Like, straight up, you cannot. And so and then there's also that whole thing of, like, take Skrullum, for example. Skrullum does not understand a lot of human emotion or of biologic emotion, whatever. So even if they're, like, even with the existence of sentient machinery, the Aha only exists because there are biologic life forms that have a sort of wisdom and emotion to them that computers just do not. And that makes Aha way more wise and interesting than anybody else. Maybe, like, okay, Fuli is interesting, and Ho-Oh is also interesting, and Akivili is also interesting, but Aha, I like Ho-Oh. I think Ho-Oh is really cool because Ho-Oh dissolved their will into the web of logic behind the universe's movement, maintaining the balance and stability of all things in perpetuity. So, like, Ho-Oh is just the universe at this point. Like, how I read this is Ho-Oh just kind of became part of the universe. And the fact that related entry Imaginary Tree is here, I just feel like that is, yeah. Trouble. In the ancient times before Akivili the Trailblaze traversed the starry skies, people were already casting their eyes into the mighty galaxy above their heads, armed with infinite curiosity towards the unknown. The imaginary tree theory put forward by Xander Kuwabara, first member of the Genius Society. Wow, okay. The universe is filled with mysterious imaginary energy. Imaginary energy isolates star clusters from each other, and even light cannot pass through it. Therefore, human space exploration is often limited to the boundaries of their individual worlds, unable to advance any further. Xander has also posed a hypothesis that humans would be able to control the universe if we can control and manipulate imaginary energy. It was a romantic illusion for a long time until it was brought into reality by the appearance of the emanators of Aeons. Okay. Okay, let me pull this up. because there is... The imaginary tree. Give me a second to pull this up. So if you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen this. But Homu Labs tweeted out an awesome thread. Let me display capture. Yeah. Okay. Homu Labs tweeted this thread. I get this in my comments lately. I also want to reiterate on Twitter. There's no such thing as the Honkai Star Rail universe. All the worlds we visit in HSR are separate branches, leaves on the imaginary tree. A lot of people seem to think that all the planets we visit in HSR a lot of people seem to think that all the planets we visit in HSR are contained in a single world/universe and separated from the rest of the Helluverse games. That is false. Each planet is in a separate world. Worlds are different dimensions separated by an imaginary energy that are connected through the Star Rail put in place by Akavili in the Nameless. People can travel between worlds using the Star Rail, while other factions like the IPC can have their own ways. The world of Honkai Impact 3 is just another world of the imaginary tree. Welt can't return home because Earth is not on the route of the Astral Express. In other words, it is not connected by the Star Rail to the rest of the universe yet. If every planet in HSR was in a single world, they wouldn't need the Astral Express to travel to them in the first place, since they would all exist in the same space. After all, the Eurolo 6 questline would have been pointless. And then he's working on a video about it. This feels like that kind of contradicts that. This feels like this kind of contradicts it, because in the imaginary tree theory put forward by Xander, the universe is filled with mysterious imaginary energy. Imaginary energy isolates star clusters, not solar systems, star systems, star clusters, clusters of multiple stars, which means possibly multiple systems. But that's, and I feel like this is not something that they would mistranslate. I feel like this is something that they would be, if it was systems, they would be isolate star systems. Unless the stipulation is one sentient civilization per cluster. Wait, so in this universe they know the existence of the imaginary tree, but not the Sea of Quanta? I believe so. This theory describes the various worlds existing in different space-time as having a tree-like structure. Every branch has a specific path along which worlds might exist. Worlds, plural. With every leaf being the marks these worlds have made along the parameter of time. The crown of the tree remains in a dynamic state as it absorbs the masterless imaginary energy from the space-time vasculature of the trunk. New shoots grow where leaves fall, and endless births and deaths occur among the infinite universe. Describing the universe's structure as a tree may be an attitude that views the imaginary tree as a life form. Before the theory of the imaginary tree was put forward, the universe had been addressed as a void of indiscernible object because of its undetectable nature. After the theory was developed, people would visualize its principle using imagination. The untamed imaginary energy surges endlessly through space-time vasculature and forms at its tips star clusters that humans can understand, in other words, countless worlds. The worlds are separated from each other just as leaves are separated by air, between which are unknown imaginary domains that are nigh impossible to traverse. This is so weird because it's going back and forth, right? Because, like, sometimes it's saying that there are star clusters, multiple worlds per leaf on the tree, but then there's these, in other words, countless worlds. The worlds are separated from each other just as leaves are separated by air. Yeah. The Intelligentsia Guild had once thought that Harold Punch, the second member of the Genius Society, was the first to propose the imaginary tree origin theory. After multiple assessments on the influence of the history fictionologists, the scientific community now commonly accepts Xander as the person to have proposed it. Wait, so in this universe, yeah. It's weird that this description reminds me of Dark Energy. Kind of. Yeah, it does. But, like, then again, Chrissy, the whole duology of imaginary and quantum energy is just kind of that anyways, right? Because like the whole, like how quantum and imaginary energy feed off each other but also fight each other is just, that is very real, like real matter and dark matter vibes, or energy vibes. I just feel like the cancer, like I just feel like Stellarons are straight up just condensed imaginary energy. I feel like they can't really be anything else. That's all they are. It's just insanely dense imaginary energy, which feels, that's just
Let's take it in turns.
that's just
You
what the
rest,
Honkai
I'll
is.
stand guard.
It's just collapsed imaginary energy. It's weird. There are so many questions, and like the fact that Kafka kind of alluded to how like Noose is probably the next one we see, that would be cool. Hikaru, the man to you, stares out the porthole at a sparkling jade-like object hovering in the boundless space. How many times has this star rise happened? Let me see. Holding a space pen in your small palm, you trace the form from top to bottom with the tip of the pen. 27 times, I guess, you mutter? Yeah, 27 times. You lick your lips. Actually, you're not quite literate yet. Another system month has passed. When do you think we can go back? There's no one left on the planetary surface to guide our landing. We can't even make it to the atmosphere. You touch your whiskers. If only they could look at the planet from this angle, then the tragedy might have not happened. Look at her. This used to be our home and our past. Everyone, including the people you love and know, stayed there. People were originally bound to spend their entire lives there, regardless of who they are. All of our emotions, religions, and ideologies. All of the hunters and robbers, kings and peasants, heroes and cowards, parents and their children. Everything we see, hear, think, and feel exist on this dark spot. A speck of dust floating in ray bursts. In the sparkle of stars, a dark spot that radiates a feeble green glow. Look at her. You lift your hand. How dare those ancient politicians assume this dark spot to be the center of the world, and therefore meant they have the power to control the universe? Could there be anything more ridiculous than that? Wow, he stares at you with an incredulous expression. I didn't think you were so articulate. Come on, you know I can't even read very well. You flick your tail. I'm just a rat. These are so weird. I don't understand what those are supposed to... If they're actually supposed to be memories, or if they're just bullshit. I don't think I've heard about the imaginary tree as energy in HA3. Really? But, like, there are characters that are imaginary, right? There are imaginary characters. There's quantum characters and imaginary characters. So, like, feasibly there would be imaginary energy, but just not spoken like that, I guess. The memory of a rat. Yeah. It's just so strange. The bubble things are so weird, because there's one that's like from the point of view of like a tentacle monster thingy. I don't know. It's so strange to me. Where am I? Dude, tier 60 is going to be so fucking hell. It's going to be awful. Because you get to 60, you have to do Equilibrium 5. Equilibrium 5 is going to be fucking terrible. I need to prepare for that, too. We got near the car. Yes. They talked about Honkai energy, and they know the imaginary tree, and since they never correlated these things, I feel like there's something missing. Do you think... I feel like there's like a... I feel like the purpose of a lot of HSR is to kind of fill in the holes of HI3. Right? Like, that's already happening. That's already happening with a lot of theories. Like, the whole idea that Aeons are everywhere on the imaginary tree. They permeate through multiple through multiple universes, multiple worlds. They just don't manifest in HI3 and GGZ just because they're kind of tucked away. But like, already that idea is answering some questions in HI3. I'm waiting for Welt to open his mouth and stop. Yeah, that would be... Can we get a hangout quest with Welt where he just tells us shit? He just recaps the entirety of HI3. That would be so cool. Like, we get just a long-ass lecture every moment of his life from Berlin 1953 to now. I want that shit. Yeah. Like, I don't care if that takes hours and hours and hours and hours. I want Welt to just... Our hangout quest with him to just be... Where here's a sit down step by step Berlin 1953 to now, factoring in everything I have learned since, and it's just Welt answering the game for us. It's just Welt giving us a rundown of how the Hoyoverse works. Honestly, here's what I like. There is a reason that Welt is here, right? There is a reason that the writers decided to include Welt in HSR. And I think that it's for that reason. It is at some point, Welt is going to lay it down for us of this is how the Hoyoverse works. This is how it works. 100%, no more questions. This is how it functions. Also to protect Himeko, but right, like, they could have written this game without Welt, because he hasn't really done a whole lot, to be completely honest, right? He's just kind of here. They could have just made him any other super weird, mysterious, powerful old dude, but they made him Welt Yang. So he is just... He is a Chekhov's gun that is just standing right there. He's just a Chekhov's gun that's just chilling right there. I like, from a storytelling standpoint, right? He just, like, yeah. He stopped us from exploding. Yes, but again, that could have been any other... They could have just written another mysterious, powerful old dude, but they had to make it Welt Young. They had to make it Welt, the man that lived through the entirety of HI3 until now, right? The man that witnessed firsthand however many Honkai eruptions, the man that single-handedly created anti-entropy, like him, Welt Young. Like, you can't just do that. So, like, he's just a standing... And, like, also, the keeping us from exploding thing is so neat to me, because that also kind of confirms that Stellarons are just... They're just imaginary energy. That's literally all they are. It's... Yeah, that's just all they are, is fucking imaginary energy. The dude simply can't die. Kind of. Because he has like post-Hersher energy. It's not this Welt. Fucking Hoyoverse, come on. Give me one cohesive character that's just the same way. That's the same one all the way through. I don't know. He's just here. Well, yeah, but all things considered, it's just the same character. The original Welt. The Welt that, yeah. The storyboard artist. But also, he says that he was... I consider it all one character, even though that's not. This one took the name. Oh, okay, yeah. No, okay, this Welt is different. Welt Joyce. Okay. Yeah, no, I forgot about that. This one took its name. Yeah, okay. Yeah. There's so much shit that happens with... But again, it's this character that has been around for so long. Because, yeah, Welt Joyce, that was their birth name. Well, this Welt is the Finnish dude. Yeah, got it. Yeah, this one is the Finn. Welt Joyce, I think he was in Berlin when that happened. I think. I don't know. I'm still learning, but it's the fact that it's Welt. It's just the fact that it's Welt that makes it so weird to me. And like, the presence of Welt in this game makes me think that this game is like, the purpose of this game, first and foremost, is to fill the holes. That is the purpose of this game. Isn't Sampo tied? I wouldn't be... Sampo Koski feels like a Finnish name. I don't know how else it would be tied to Finland. Finland! Ah. Yeah, his name feels like it's Finnish. He purposely traveled... Correction, he purposely traveled to the world where he would meet the, he would meet the Astral Express. Yeah. He also did it with Void Archives. Yeah. I want to meet Void Archives. I haven't met him in this game yet. All right, I haven't met him in HI3. I want to see what's up with the dude. He seems so weird. There's a comic panel, right? Of when he did that. You don't want to meet, but I do though. That's the thing. I do. I know he'd fuck shit up, but I do. Because where is that comic? Like, he does it with Void Archives. I don't know. But yeah, he traveled here. Again, every world is its own universe. Or every world is its own place. Because there is no HSR universe. There is no HSR universe. It's all the imaginary tree. All the different places that we visit in HSR, all the different planets are different branches on the tree.
Do you want to enter the...
I don't know what I want to get. Do I get another We Are Wildfire? I don't know.
Do you want to enter the Forgotten Hall?
The cube is the incarnation of insanity, but that's so cool. I think that would be so neat. That'd be so neat to have a character that is just the embodiment of, yeah. I highly use the word worlds to either describe a whole universe, galaxy, a planet, or a city. Yeah. But like, from what I understand, right, it's a world is a star cluster at most. But like one planet per is how I am interpreting it. One planet, one sentient civilization per world on the imaginary tree. And so everywhere we go, HSR is about jumping to different places on the imaginary tree. So there is no one universe in HSR, is from what I'm gathering. So I don't know. It's weird. I feel like we should like use the Astral Express as it's not this universe, it's the Astral Express. That's the 0-0 of this game, because all of that terminology that we're used to saying in HI3 or in Genshin or GGZ or whatever, it's just the Express. HSI basically covers the multiverse. Exactly. And that's also the reason why this game is the question answerer. This game is meant to answer questions because we are traveling the entirety of we are exploring the imaginary tree. That is what we are doing in this game. Like, that is the point of this game. That's why it kind of feels like it's the question answerer. There's not a logical way to handle all of its knowledge, so Void Archives is very eccentric. Yeah, which is so funny to me. I want to meet him. I want to meet him. I think it would be so cool. I love insane characters. I absolutely adore well-written insanity. It is so fun. Because if it's done right, it is extremely hard to do right. And if a writing team can do it well, it blows me out of the water anytime a writing team can write an insane character well. And I feel that I feel like Hoyoverse writers can do that quite well, to be honest. Dottore better be insane? I don't think so. He's just like, I don't think any of Dottore's copies are insane to the extent that Void Archives or somebody is. Ooh, Nouvelle Fisk video in 2 hours. Ooh, I swear, if it's the campaign for North Africa video, I am going to fucking bust. Okay, anyways, does Imaginary Tree exist? It does. We just don't know Okay, so I was talking about this earlier. I was talking about this earlier. So the Imaginary Tree, when Genshin was in development, it was referred to internally as Honkai 4. But when at the time MiHoYo wanted to apply to join the stock market, they had to send in an they had to send in an application to join the stock market to go public. But they were denied because they only have one IP, which was Honkai. So to subvert that, they renamed Honkai 4 to Genshin, to kind of sneaky, even though it is still a part of the Hoyoverse. It's still part of the universe that Honkai set up. So, yes, Genshin exists in the same universe, or in the same multiverse in the Hoyoverse. We just don't know how it's related. Like, what preposition do we use to describe the relationship between the imaginary tree and Teyvat? Is it in? Is it next to? Is it fucking whatever? Like, where it is in relation to the imaginary tree, we do not know. That is one of the biggest mysteries that I would love to figure out. Regarding Genshin, because once we like I was saying earlier, once we understand where Teyvat is in relation to the imaginary tree, a lot of problems kind of just vanish. A lot of mysteries of how the world works kind of vanishes, because
Let's take it in turns.
depending on how
I'll stand guard.
where in proximity it is to the imaginary tree, that answers questions of how certain things work, or how how certain things work. Is imaginary and quantum energy present? Is the Honkai going to happen? Has it happened? All of that stuff kind of goes away when we know, once we learn where it is. Okay. Anyways, that's it for the stream. I have a concert I need to go to. So, thank you guys so much for joining today. Thank you, I will. I might post a video too, who knows. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Genshin tomorrow. I will see you guys then. So, bye-bye.